Good evening, VC. How you doing? Uh, it's been a little while since I posted, and got a few things to take care of. Like I said, I've got a backlog of things that I'll just never be able to get through. And it's evening. Actually, I was going to postpone this until tomorrow, but I've been posting on Facebook that I found a Grail the other day, and kind of posted a photo of it spinning around, just enough for a couple of people to pick up that it was a white label promo on Columbia, two eyes. So, even that was pretty good. I mean, I could tell that because I obviously knew what it was, but I think if I had looked at that, I wouldn't have been able to tell what it was. So, points for Derek and the doctor for picking that out just by looking at that blurry, smudged image. I will do that very quickly, but first I want to do a couple other things. It's very warm in here, so if I start to get all shiny and sweaty, it's because it's very warm in here. I'm in a brick building, and even though it could be cool outside after a few days of sun, it is like an oven in here, and it radiates heat. I've got an air conditioner. I only use it when it gets really super hot. So anyway, try to keep myself cooled off. Trish, thank you very much for the mixtapes. Let's wait. I want to make sure I'm in the camera, and other things are in the camera. I really appreciate it. I haven't had a chance to listen to them yet, but I was looking at the titles. They look really cool, really fun. A lot of stuff I haven't heard before, so I'm looking forward to putting these on and just having them play in the background, which is going to be great. And a cool sticker here and a nice sort of update note as well that I think she sends out to everybody, which is very cool. Thank you, Trish. I appreciate that. Also, thanks to Andy. I got the Neutral Milk Hotel LP. I came in second place, number 2, and chose this album. Sounded really interesting. I wouldn't have gone wrong with any of the 3, and I'm really interested in Pele, so I might be picking that up. I sampled some of that a little bit out of curiosity. So this is really great. It's taking a little bit of listening to getting used to, but it's something I know I like. It's just going to take a little bit of time for it to grow on me, but I'm glad I've got it. That's kind of cool. It came from your collection, and it's something that you really like, so I'm definitely going to be holding on to it. Thank you very much, Andy. I appreciate it. And he threw in a couple of other things, which is kind of nice. A copy of London Town, which is oddly... it looks like it's been laminated or something. It's a U.S. pressing, but it looks like it's been laminated, and part of the laminate's been pulled off and whatnot. You know, Andy, this is one of my favorite albums of Paul's, and I've got a couple of copies of this already, but now I've got another one. Won't never say no to a copy of any copy of McCartney or any Beatles album, so that's very cool. Also got another copy of Double Fantasy, which is very cool. Thanks you very much, Andy. That's very great for you to throw in a few extra items. Very, very cool. So the Grail. This is something that I've been looking for maybe around 2 years now. It all started with looking up posts about different mixes, mono mixes versus stereo mixes, and somehow I got into a thread about this particular artist and found out all kinds of really interesting information about how the singles were mixed in mono, and they had dedicated mono mixes, and they're different from in most cases they're different than the stereo mixes. They had differences within the mono mixes themselves, and finding mono copies of the albums are very difficult. The monos have never been released on CD. When I asked, I found a thread. Well, I found one music thread, and I was asking people, and one person came back, and when I asked why the monos haven't been released of these albums, and they just came back with one word answer: band saw. And I didn't get that, and I asked them what they meant by that, and they said I needed a little more detail. They said, oh, this is their explanation. Don't hold me to it. This is what I got from someone who apparently knew the reasons why the monos aren't out there. He said apparently they took a bandsaw to them because they wanted to reuse the reels. Now, that to me sounds really crazy, but at the same time, stupid things happen. And maybe somebody went and grabbed all the monos because everybody was going to stereo and just, trashed them. I really find that hard to believe, but it's possible. But then again, I have yet to see, other than singles and compilations, mono versions of the songs. So, there you go. Anyway, I'm not trying to make this suspenseful or anything like that, but anyway, I got intrigued by one particular album of theirs that people were saying that there are a lot of differences on it. In fact, it's a very strange mono mix for a couple of different reasons. Not necessarily good, at least the first side. But it's a very hard album to find on mono. So it just became this thing I wanted to find, and I'd never seen it. I wanted to find a mono copy of it, and I've never seen it. Well, the first thing I saw was that it was a promo. That's pretty obvious from the white label promo. I saw it, and I saw it was a white label, but then I also saw something else, a sticker on it that said, for radio stations only, or special radio station mono copy. Special mono radio station copy. How many different ways can I say this? Special mono radio station copy. And this may be anticlimactic for a lot of you, but for me, this is the first time I've ever seen this, and I couldn't believe it when I saw it. And I figured there's no way I'm going to be able to walk out of the store with it, but here it is. Simon & Garfunkel's Bookends, mono, radio copy, promo copy. So there it is. I was just thumbing through a crate of records at the record store up at Easy Street that had not been priced yet, and I saw this, and I thought, along with a couple other things, but that was the one thing that really stood out as the primo item. And I thought to myself, well, when the guy in charge of the record department, the vinyl department, comes back, I'm gonna just ask him about, I told him I saw a few things in there. So I pulled this out and I showed it to him, and he quoted me a price for it, and I said, sure, I'm not going to pass it up. It's just not something you see every day. Couple interesting things, and well, the condition of it is the vinyl is in I would say very good condition. It's got some surface noise. It's got a few pops and ticks here and there. It's been. I hope it's light enough that everybody can see this, but. If it's not, I apologize. I should have done this sooner. But a couple of interesting things that we were looking at when we were taking a look at this. Even he was looking up the information on this. The label here, well, like I said, very few mono copies of this were made. And the label, it's interesting because the label has the KCS matrix on it. Or not matrix, but number on it. It's the I can't remember what it's called. It says KCS, as for stereo. If it was mono, it would say KCL. And oddly enough, it does say mono down here, really big and bold, but it still has the KCS. My guess is they took the artwork for the stereo promo labels and then just quickly stuck the word mono down here. I didn't care whether or not it had a KCS or a KCL up here, because they weren't going to make very many of them. This was the last album of Simon & Garfunkel's, I think, that they made in mono. So that was one indication of how quickly and how kind of slapdash the mono version of this album was made. The other thing is that it was put inside of you can't read it here, but it was put inside of a stereo outer sleeve. It's a stereo cover. So that actually kind of got me a little worried. I started thinking, did I buy something that maybe somebody manufactured? But looking at it, I can't imagine that they would manufacture it, something like this. And it would just be going to a lot of trouble to do that. And the vinyl actually looks really good, in good shape. It doesn't look like it was pressed cheaply or anything like that. And then I went on to another thread. It's actually a thread that I read 2 years ago. It was that same thread, and I went through it again, music thread. And I went through it again, and I was hoping somebody would mention similarities to this one. One person said they had just a standard mono issue that would be issued out to the regular general public. Very, very few of those were made, as well as the radio issues. But and then somebody finally said, yeah, I've got a promo that I picked up. And I think, great. It has a timing sheet, great. It's got a sticker on it that says mono, great. It's in a stereo cover, great. And I think they even mentioned that it was a white label promo on the vinyl, but it had the stereo prefix on it. That's what the word I was trying to remember was prefix. So here's the other kind of trippy thing about this. I had some other stuff I was going to show. I'm going to do another post because I know this is going on kind of long. The other thing about this is that side one, this is a mono pressing, right? Side one is, from what I've been able to read, a fold down from the stereo. And in some cases, they didn't get both channels. Someone pointed out that, what's the first song? Save the Life of My Child. There's no drums to be heard. There's a drum track that's not there. And people were saying that, yeah, they didn't even get both channels mixed or folded down together correctly. So you can't even hear one channel in some of the songs, or maybe in all of the songs. It still sounds good, but that's obviously a big mistake. So side one, according to what I've been able to read, is a fold down from the stereo. Side two, a lot of the singles came off of side two, and those singles were given dedicated mono mixes. So when they did the master for side two, they used the mono mixes from the singles, which were dedicated mono mixes. So side two is more a dedicated mono mix and side one is a fold down. So, I don't know the details of exactly. There might be one or two songs that weren't. There might have been something on side one that wasn't. I've done as much research as I, felt I needed to at the time, and just enough to get me interested in this. And I still want to go. That actually led me into getting interested in the singles and finding, trying to find a lot of the original singles in the best quality I could, because they were apparently all released as mono singles, at least except for the last couple, perhaps. Believe me, if there is a Simon and Garfunkel expert out there, and you've got more knowledge about this than I do, let me know. I'm just spouting off what I've been able to research online here from what other people have put up. So, but like I said, it was enough to get me interested in finding one of these, because it was obscure. It sounded like different mixes. Side one was a fold down. Side two were the dedicated monos from the singles. Very few were made. If I came across one, I would do everything I could to get one and bring one home. And I've got one. And the cover is in pretty good shape. The edging here has got some issues. That not too bad. It's got to be careful. Somebody named Martin used to own it. I believe Martin is a reference to one of the songs. I'm not sure, but overall, there's a little bit of ring wear here. The backside looks fine. Actually, the promo timing sheet here, cue sheet, is, they didn't really go out of their way to put it on there all that well, it's okay with me. I can always pull it back and see the rest of the artwork, which isn't really much to look at. But bottom line is, this is something I've been looking for. To me, this is a Grail. I got it. I'm very happy. And no, it didn't cost me an arm and a leg. And I don't feel like I certainly don't feel like I cheated the folks out of money. I didn't get it, like I said, for a steal, but I probably got it for a better deal than maybe what they could have gotten online. I'm not sure, on eBay. But Easy Street doesn't do that. I talked to them once about that, and they would rather have people come into the store and buy things rather than put things up on eBay. That they want people to come into the store. So, yeah, that's Easy Street coming back for their record. No. So anyway, yay, my Grail. Simon and Garfunkel bookends mono. Radio station copy, in fact. Okay, well, I was going to show some other stuff, but I'm going to do that in another post, probably tomorrow morning, because it's getting dark. I don't want to get this uploaded. Thank you all very much, and I'm having a great time on Facebook and on YouTube. I feel like I'm neglecting YouTube a little bit because Facebook is a little bit easier, and I think, like someone else said, they said the reason why they haven't been posting on Facebook is they've been kind of a little lazy. Well, that's kind of how I've been too. It's a lot of work to prop things up and get things organized and present yourself without looking too grubby like I do right now, because I just got back in from walking around. Okay, this is where I need to stop it. Thank you very much. I want to show this one more time because it's a big deal for me. Anyway, thanks everybody. Bye. Oh, I'm going to do a Rob here and let you see this as I close out.